Okay, a simple question. Were you happy, raise your hands if you were, that Johnny Evans signed a new contract for Manchester United?
Whoever has got Johnny Evans' telephone number, can you send it to Andy so that he can actually send that photo? The greatest of English football, we've won it all.
Hiya, right, I'm on the pitch. No, honestly, I'm on the pitch in Feyenoord. Stood on my tiptoes because I'm not a cameraman and I've set this up completely wrong. This is Lerkendal, capacity 23,000, one of the biggest stadiums in Norway. Probably the biggest team in Norway. I realise fans of other clubs might object to me saying that. And they've just beaten Manchester United in the first pre-season game of 24-25. Was it a great game? Fantastic, one of the best games I've ever seen. No, it was awful, obviously. Why? Well, the United players have been in training for 1 week and they played against a team who were in the middle of their competitive season. So it was always going to be difficult. And tactically, and I'm going to sound a bit nerdy here, it was quite a cagey game. Both teams closed it all down in the middle, tried to force the players out wide. So it was a difficult, unentertaining match. Also, the pitch is very dry, so that doesn't lend itself to good football. I'm going to try and pick out a couple of positives. I thought the goalkeeper did really well. He's just been speaking after the game. I'm going to get a list of all the players who played. 1 second. I'm not doing ratings for 24 people because I can't. It's impossible to watch them all. I said about goalkeeper, Vitek, who's very highly rated, has been for years. Who am I going to pick out? So him, 3 decent saves in the first half, 2 decent saves in the second half. I'm not giving ratings. I will pick out Will Fish, and I've just had a good chat with Will Fish. He's a bright lad. He's from Denton, and I thought he was probably the best player tonight because there was a lot of defending to do, and he was at Hibs the last couple of years. He's not going to be a first-team player for Manchester United this season. I don't think he is. I would probably say he's either going to be sold or he's going to go on loan to another club. And we've seen this morning Willy Kambwala has gone to Villarreal for a decent fee. Willy, the only rival Johnny Evans has ever had for being the most intelligent player at Manchester United. I think that could be a good move for him because Villarreal is a really stable club in Spain, and I don't say that lightly because other clubs are far less stable. Really good footballing philosophy. It's all about football at Villarreal. This is not big city living. In fact, it's probably the only city in Spain, apart from Albacete, which is not worth going to as a tourist. So Diego Forlan did really well when he went to Villarreal. Giuseppe Rossi did really well. So good. Who else am I going to... I thought Mason Mount did all right. Mason did all right. Who else? Marcus Rashford, Ethan Williams, Carlos Casemiro, Johnny Evans. So this morning, I did a Q&A in the middle of Trondheim in front of like a lot of people with Brian Robson and Dennis Irwin. And I did a show of hands. Are you happy if Johnny Evans is signed? Everyone just went, wow! And he's buzzing off that. And I asked Brian Robson and Dennis Irwin about Johnny. I reckon the only reason Brian Robson wanted Johnny to stay was because he's his neighbour and he likes him. But being serious, I was pleased when he signed because I think he did really well last season. He's experienced, he's good with the younger players, he totally gets the club, and on merit alone, he did really well last season. And I wouldn't expect him to be Manchester United's first choice centre-half this season, but so what? As we saw last year, had loads and loads of injuries, and he's a good lad, so obviously he gets the 10. And I'm not doing ratings, I'm just not. Jack Fletcher came on, difficult for him actually, playing in that role. What happens now with United is we go to Edinburgh. The team goes to Edinburgh and then to Los Angeles to play Arsenal, then to San Diego to play Real Betis, then to South Carolina to play Liverpool. Things will get more competitive, more time in training, more games in training. Just seeing the new executives from United have actually come over here. Omar Barada. Just spoke to Ruud van Nistelrooy, which was nice. I was supposed to go and see him in Holland last week. I went to Holland and he obviously joined Manchester United. So I just told him I sat in Holland doing absolutely nothing. Cheers for that, Ruud. I think he believed it, but I actually went to see Yap Sam instead. Such is the life of a journalist. He looks really well actually, Ruud, and it's nice to see him back. I did a piece for The Athletic about Ruud, the football manager, and I spoke to people who he was inspired by. Marcelo Bielsa was someone, people in Holland, Gus Hiddink. Good. I mean, I don't know whether he's going to be a great coach for Manchester United. I get that some fans are like, brilliant, everything's going to be fine now. I just don't see it like that. I think, you know, I'm optimistic because it's pre-season, but I was optimistic at the start of last year and United finished 8th. I also just had a chat with the manager. I asked him if he'd been to Ibiza. Yeah. A good time. Yeah. What clubs did you go to? You didn't even go to Pasha. He's looking good. I think he looks pretty relaxed. I hope he does well this year. I was very supportive of him before the cup final when not everybody was. Hope that's not misplaced, but my reasons have not changed and the cup final was a buzz. I'm still buzzing off that, even now. Probably going to be more signings, departures as well. Picked up a pace, hasn't it? So Joshua's come in. I've been speaking to people about him. I don't know that much about him, I'm being honest. I could say, yeah, he's going to be great. I don't know if he's going to be great. So I speak to people who do know him really well. And one of them said, your club have got an absolute bargain. Don't expect him to be top scorer in the Premier League. Give him some time to adapt. But, yeah. And that particular person didn't give me rave reviews a year ago. And he was absolutely right. So I've actually put this camera on top of the dugout. Do you want me to show you? Take it up now. Whoa. This is going to go all wrong, isn't it? So there's the ground. That's my hotel. I'm not complaining about being in a hotel overlooking a football stadium. You know what I'm like. There's a crowd of 21,000 here today. Rosenborg are no longer the preeminent force in Norwegian football. I'd like to say they went home happy, but it wasn't great. The entire team changed apart from the goalkeeper at half time. And United lost. Don't read too deeply into pre-season results. I'm not going to be in Edinburgh, but I will be in America and I'll give you more detail and information. And I'll try and do the ratings properly. You can't have a go at me for not doing ratings of 24 players. I could blag and go, yeah, he did well. But I'm incapable of watching 24 players. Proper scouts focus on 2 or 3 in a match. And I'm not even a proper scout. All right, I'm going to go. Lovely to meet all the Norwegian people. Norwegian Reds here today in beautiful Trondheim. Thanks to everyone who bought United We Stand as well. I'll take some copies to America. See you next time. Bye bye.